USA Rugby is a new rallying cry and celebrates what it means to be a rugby player here in the United States. It unites us all in a creed that will inspire the new American rugby division. Now it's time for Rugby on America USA Rugby Now. Work for it, rugby. Visit workforit.org.
"20 nations will gather to play in the greatest rugby tournament in the world. They will play for a chance to hoist the most coveted prize in rugby, and it will be here sooner than you think. It's the 2015 World Cup from England, and you will see it all on Universal Sports and NBC starting September of 2015. Oh, the pipes are here. So is Scotland. In Texas, ready to take on the United States Eagles. Here on Universal Sports, a warm night in the Lone Star. Bill Seward, Brian Hightower with you. Glad you could join us. I think I've stopped sweating, but give us, if you can, the keys to the match for the United States, first of all, Brian.
Well, the U.S. has struggled in this stadium with Tier 1 opponents, and most of all, it's been up front. They have to win their own set pieces. They have to be able to control their own scrums. They got to keep the ball off the ground and really no turnovers or really low turnovers. And finally, if they get inside that Scottish half, they got to come away with points. That means Chris Wiles, who will probably be handling the kicking, has got to be lights out.
Wiles was impressive last year against Ireland in a narrow defeat by the Irish. On the Scottish side, so many question marks. I mean, not only for Vern Cotter, this is first after a couple of days. He's the head coach of Scotland, but coming in off of that Six Nations performance, 1-5 in the Six Nations, certainly disappointment on their end. A victory, a narrow one over Italy. Tonight, can they take the heat?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we'll see. I think the second half is really going to be the sign of how well they're withstanding the temperature. But if they can get their mark on the scrum, if they can really start to dominate and give the U.S. scrum problems, then things will go well for them. They also have to take the crowd out of this game. If they can do that, there'll be a loud crowd. They're very vocal here at BBVA Compass Park, and they got to take points on the board if they're inside the U.S. half as well. And in the Six Nations, we saw that they couldn't always do that, so they'll look to make sure that they come away with points once they line it up on the tee.
Supposed to have ourselves a pretty full house tonight at the BBVA Compass Stadium. On the left, Greg Laidlaw of Scotland, the captain. 29th time he has been selected and got a cap for the Scottish Warriors. And on the right, Todd Clever. 56 caps, 36 of those as captain. Made his debut back in '03 against Argentina. And the teams coming out onto the pitch.
Sometimes you have to play with a quiet fire in the belly, and you know, you can't get too overwhelmed by the emotions of a night like this. If you're the United States, you really have to keep it channeled, make sure it's going all positive. And, Vern Cotter said it best about the Scottish team. The team that plays for each other, the team that shows up for their brother and has his back tonight is going to have some success out on the field.
Some intensity out on the field. You've taken a look at the number 6, Alistair Strokash for Scotland at 6'3", 240. Plays his rugby also in Perpignan in France. A black belt in karate. The Sunayula brothers on the United States side. Great story of their family and the tradition. And the teams lining up right now for the anthems. Now, you know what? Even better. The price of admission, you get bagpipes too.
Absolutely, a concert and a rugby match.
Once again, our friends in Scotland watching on the stream here from Universal Sports.
Over there in
Sing
April.
along.
Yeah, made a lot of friends over there, and hello to the folks that hosted me in Melrose and St. Boswell.
The national anthems of both squads, starting out with Scotland and then the United States.
Band. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing now for the United States of America's national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Tonight, the anthem is being sung by Houston-based award-winning soprano Nancy Curtis. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? And the
Nancy can hit the high note. Set for the United States and Scotland from BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, Texas. 10th ranked in the world, the Scots, the Eagles of the U.S. They are 18th, and Pascal Gauzet from France is your referee. The assistant refs, Francisco Pastrana and Chris Asmussen, working the TMO, Andrew Hosey.
Good look at first cap. Blair Cowan wearing the number 7.
Blue captain.
Reed, Cowan, and Russell making their debut for Scotland. Suniola. Kick looks good. U.S. going after it hard and taken by Jim Hamilton of Scotland.
Scully in the right place to tap that one back, but just misses it.
Advantage over.
Stepping forward and stepping strong. Gordon Reed off the foot, clever underneath, goes up, and Tim Visser challenges for that one, and the first possession by the U.S. Spun to Suniola.
Leave it 7.
Deep in the pocket. Shalom Suniola.
Stop.
Lifting one in the air.
Okay.
Coming forward and making the grab is the 8,
Play on.
Johnny Beattie. Right side, Russell, first time with his hands on the ball. The cutout, nicely done, passing it down the line is Scotland. Trying to finish things up on the outside, Sean Lamont, the veteran, with 86 caps. Scott Lawson busting forward and taken down. Laidlaw tries the right side off the foot. Wiles is there, and our first whistle.
Both teams trying to feel each other out.
A long advantage, and they'll come back toward halfway.
12.
The weather, well, let's turn it to our meteorologist,
12.
Nick Gismondi. Nick.
12.
I think you're sweating up there. It is much the same down here. Trust me. The weather right now at kickoff is 90 degrees. It feels like 93 with a 59% humidity. Here's the difference. In Scotland right now, at this exact moment, it's 58 degrees. The humidity there right around the same, but it is hot and it is not what they're used to.
Finn Russell shrugs it off and through the sweat pounds it into touch on the far side. A look at Richie Gray. Gray and Jim Hamilton, the locks in here. And Richie at 6'9", Hamilton at 6'8".
6.
A reminder on the U.S. roster, no Samu Manoa.
Yeah, Samu back in England with his 4th child, which was born last week. And sounds like he'll rejoin the team next week, taking care of the family this week.
Our congratulations going out to him. On the line out, tossed in the air, taken by the U.S. in the shadow of its own goal line.
Well, you know, this is what's been Scotland's Achilles heel. Clinical moments, scoring opportunities, and they can't come down with their own line-out ball.
And we'll see if they can do something here. Visser almost picked up and dropped by Seamus Kelly. Lou Stanfill with the takedown.
Olive Khalifi, you know, he can't touch that ball, and it's so tempting to grab it. He thought he was on the right side, but clearly not. An early scoring opportunity here for Scotland.
5'11", 260, the old Puget Sounder.
Well, that's just discipline there.
To the points, to the posts, and so the first kick attempt by Greg Laidlaw. Laidlaw made his debut for Scotland against Wales in 2012. Going to be making that switch from Edinburgh to Gloucester. Played for the under-20s for Scotland. And a chance to put him on the board to start things out. Oh! You know what? He hit the post 5 times yesterday in the captain's run, and he bangs one here. Iron unkind.
Well, yeah, but now they're going to get a scrum because the ball couldn't be handled off the post there, and so they get a really lucky break.
Wait.
Lou Stanfill wearing the number 4 jersey, and just ever since the anthem, he's been ramped up. He's been putting some shoulders in.
First scrum, okay?
An important scrum.
Wait.
I think Lou was ramped up when they signed this deal.
Wait.
They knew they were playing here.
Yes, perfect.
And he gets to go
Bind.
to Sacramento and see Canada in a couple of weeks, too.
Open the shoulder, open.
Taking a look at the pack weight, you see the advantage for Scotland.
Clutch.
The put in going to be by Laidlaw.
Bind.
Mike Petrie alongside him. The first scrum. Scotland appears to get a pretty good piece of it. A good charge by them, and did it turn enough? Going to have to play it from there. Now a whistle blows it up.
Bind.
Losing the bind, the call by Pascal Gauzère.
This has to be 3 points for sure from Laidlaw.
Wait.
I was telling you earlier at the captain's run, watching
Captain.
Laidlaw, and he was hitting the post. I mean, I couldn't believe I was wondering if he was trying to hit the post during the captain's run because he was so very accurate. And then the first one here.
5 minutes, okay? One full play.
Yeah.
One in the scrum.
Yeah.
One in the off the feet. Okay. I make sure you understand my message. Okay.
Yeah,
I let the time to talk with the player.
Absolutely.
Okay. I need discipline now.
Absolutely,
I let the time.
Just one thing on the scrum. Can you watch
Yeah.
the tight head and touch your
I will look. Yeah. Talk with the player now. Take now.
Take another look at this first scrum.
Yeah.
And you see when the boys start to get up on the side there and lose the bind. Actually, heading down was Khalifi.
Yeah, the bind looks okay here. Hard to tell from that angle.
So Laidlaw got a shot there from about 15, 16 meters and nails it through, and a 3-0 lead for Scotland. Just the start of the USA and Scotland here on Universal Sports. Greg Laidlaw.
Well, a little bit of danger already for the United States, and if they can't handle their own scrums, then Scotland will just look to get into as many scrummaging opportunities as they can, and then just kind of, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. They just keep knocking 3-pointers over. U.S. has to work this out.
Waiting for a ball on the far side of the field to be removed before Shalom Suniula can resume things.
Time on. Yeah.
First kick was pretty good by Suniula.
Yeah, Scully in the right place. This time it's deep and it's not going to be contested.
Taken by Tim Visser. Visser on a charge. Visser running through some Eagles.
He's so dangerous. He's tall and he's got a deceptive stride to him. And big, huge levers. Hard to get inside him for a tackle.
Stuart Hogg's first kick, not his finest. He'll admit that. But out it goes just inside halfway.
The battle of the deep three here is going to be key tonight. And Hogg at the back, wearing that 15 jersey for Scotland. Wiles,
you are in charge.
The elder statesman for the United States, controlling the deep three for the Eagles. And
2 meter.
If it starts to become an aerial contest, then the leadership of those two backs is really going to come into play.
First line out for the U.S. taken.
Spot on.
Nicely done to Suniula. Back to Suniula. Off to Wiles. Wiles runs into Sean Lamont.
Well, this is what the U.S. needs. They need ball going forward.
Leave it 6.
Toss to Clever. Gang tackled just outside the 22. Luke Hume, first touch. The bright fluorescent lime green boots. Khalifi pounded into Richie Gray and others.
Nice double tackle there by Scotland. This is where the U.S. has been frustrated before. A lot of ball, a lot of good phases, but running straight into the teeth of an attack. Good run by Seamus Kelly there.
Stanfill taken down at the 22. Coming back the other way. Clever.
Nothing.
Suniula switches fields.
Cam Dolan, flat-footed. Picked up by Duncan Taylor. The United States losing some ground. Clever. Spins off a hit. Nobody to give it to there. We'll see if the U.S. comes out of there. They do, and Seamus Kelly. Just last week in the College Rugby Championship and his Cal squad.
Never you on the feet, straight down.
Scotland off their feet, so the United States has a chance to equalize off the boot of Chris Wiles here.
Stay up.
From about 40 meters out.
But look, the real issue, though, for me, it's great if he makes this kick, but what's frustrating is think of all the phases that we just saw right at the 22-meter line and how far backwards the United States went. More creative on attack they need to be, and also figure out a way to punch vertically down the field, and they haven't figured out a way to do that with these Tier 1 nations. If they can't make line breaks, if they can't get some green in front of them, then it's going to be really hard for them to score tries tonight.
Chris Wiles, recently with the Saracens and busy at that. We showed Greg Laidlaw earlier. Laidlaw with the Glasgow Warriors, both of them in late championship playoff games. Cam Dolan getting a look at that left leg, and Wiles setting up from just inside 40 meters, trying to even this one at 3. Right through. So Wiles and Laidlaw trade trays.
Dolan looks all right. A little bit of tape on the ankle.
You were mentioning maybe the frustration offensively by the United States on their first real possession, and flat-footed once again. Not really getting that ball, you know, on a burst, and could make a huge difference. Off of Lavala's hands, picked up by Fry. Eric rolls around on the ground, trying to cover across, is Clever. In the pockets, Wiles pounds it down the middle of the field. Hogg goes back to reel it in. Stewart comes back and right at halfway.
Move back.
Wiles underneath. The jump, the step, and helping out is Scott Lawson on defense.
No.
Petrie with the extraction.
Great break by Stanfield there. Little poke around the
There's
fringe.
Clever. Oh, Clever running in hard to Blair Cowan. Clever still on his feet. Say hello to Stuart Hogg.
Great moment by Todd Clever. Luke Hume on his outside, but two shadowing defenders, and he can't get it to him.
The whistle. And holding on too long to the pill.
That's unlucky for the United States. So much work to get down there.
Another look at the burst by Todd Clever. Gets it from Petrie. Cowan comes across. Really didn't get a good angle on him. Did Blair. And then Hogg. Stuart Hogg kind of going to the face there. He felt that one.
His nose. Broken nose. Same one.
You know, guys, we talk about Todd Clever a lot being a very big player for this team, and he can shift the momentum with just one play, and you saw it happen right there. But it was just over 2 months ago versus Uruguay. Early on in the match, he suffered some broken ribs. He took himself about 6 weeks to get better. I spoke to Todd before the match today, as well as David Williams, the strength and conditioning coach. They both said Todd's feeling great. He's 100%.
100% is pretty good.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I like about the way Todd sees the game, he just looks for those open moments and then calls for the ball. He's got license to really poke around.
Finn Russell drops it off to Gordon Reed. Reed and Lou Stanfield getting together. Glasgow Warrior. This is his debut.
Nice tackle by Hayden Smith.
Cowan rolling up and over on Suniula. Big Jim Hamilton.
Push back. Back.
Thought for a sec that Laidlaw would look blindside. Tosses it toward the center. And Scott Lawson, the foot. Going to the corner is Wiles, and taking it into touch.
Mark called by Wiles on the way out. Really heads up play there. If you catch a ball and you call Mark while you're catching it inside the 22, you basically get a free kick from there, and that's what Wiles has done. And a quick line out though from Hogg. Danger man, Sean Maitland.
Maitland up the touchline. Maitland running into Blaine Scully.
Phil Teal getting some work on the field. The hooker for the United States is down, getting some attention. Looks like on that right leg.
Leave it free.
Oh, the blocks left open the fringes. Tim Visser.
Down a man and make a mistake inside, and Tim Visser makes him pay.
Just fringe defense, the breakdown there. Nobody claiming that left-hand pillar.
Nothing.
That's just easy pickings there.
Laidlaw sees, he starts.
Yeah, nobody at home. Yeah, that's basic fringe defense. That's what you got to cover first. Defensive breakdown. That's a communication error. You know, Visser with his strike rate.
No, y'a rien.
Unbelievable try score. Nose for the line.
And he's doing it at 6'4" and 235. I mean, even more impressive. The conversion is good. And a 10-3 advantage for Scotland.
You tick that off the list. For the United States, you can't give away the easy ones, and that's an easy one right there.
I'm in a good position. Nothing. Okay, I will look.
Yeah.
I will look around. But here's nothing. Sure.
Visser getting the congratulations from Gray and Cowan and others. And ready for the restart with Suniula.
It's just amazing seeing a guy that big with such a beautiful stride.
And here he is yet again.
I think they wised up to him finally, put his shoulder into him.
You think of the backs, though, 11 through 14 for Scotland. They average 6'2" and 3/4 and 225 pounds.
No, 7. They're out. Wait, hold 6.
Finn Russell with a poke.
Coming back the other way is Wiles.
Move back, White.
He zooms it up into the air.
Clever will compete for this one. Nope. Shifts around in the air. Laidlaw comes down with a great catch.
Got numbers here in the blind side. Pitched back inside and taken. Off goes Cowan. Cowan with the cap, and Visser. Oh! A forward pass.
Well, Shalom Suniula has to make a decision there. He's in the sweeper role, basically, and he's got two men bearing down on him. Comes over, slides to Cowan. Cowan had Visser on the corner.
Another look over the top and keeping some hands on it. Cowan and Visser, and just forward, and Tim didn't get the handle on it anyways.
It looks like Phil Teal still getting some work. Reserve hooker for the United States is Kulikin. Tom Kulikin.
Are you well?
Made his debut against Uruguay, did Tom. He's warming up just in case. The Cleveland product to Sydney University.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see Kulikin come in and throw line-out ball. One of the things that Phil Teal's done well throughout the last couple matches for the United States is really throwing the ball on target in the line-out. It's become one of their strengths. Kulikin needs to match that accuracy.
Take a look at Phil Teal as he is down. Blaine Scully watching his squad down 10-3 to Scotland with just under 19 minutes to go.
And it looks like that is the last we'll see of Phil Teal. So Coolican is going to have to go 60 minutes.
Must be stable after state, eh? Stable, eh?
Yeah, we're clean.
Left. Yeah, happy.
Don't come in, keep him out.
All right, we saw the scrum before, Brian, and it looked advantageous to Scotland. Let's see what happens on round 2 here.
Yeah, with the U.S. put in, and, you know, and if they're getting pressure, it's got to be channeled one ball, and it's got to be quick.
Bind. Set. No, 9.
Much better from the U.S. Pickup by Dolan.
Suniula spun down. That spills out.
Nothing. Hang on.
Petrie.
Stop.
That stays in. And into touch. Off the bounce. Well done.
Nice little kick there. Andrew Suniula, though, getting some attention on the field. Looks like he's holding his left knee.
Check out the chick in the bikini top right here.
Really?
Sitting on the aisle.
Suniula, who we saw in the highlights early in our pre-show. And the try against Uruguay. And here he is carrying it and being dragged down.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Beattie leading the charge.
Looks like he was kind of an awkward locked out leg.
Yeah, I think so.
Andrew, of course, the largest of the backs for the Eagles.
Now, take a look at his left leg here. He's in the tackle. Gets stood up, and I think that's why he placed that ball back. It came out of the back so loosely there. Well, horrible break for the United States. Not just because they have injured players, but you got a night that's 90 degrees. This kind of heat, you're going to need your bench. And Suniula looks like he's done for the night. So
Folau Nua taking off his warm-up. There's Phil Teal heading in. So all ready for the United States, at least 2 at the moment.
Well, he's been a pillar in the centers for this U.S. Eagle team for the last few years. Just a hard man, both to bring down and a hard man in the tackle.
One receiver, just one. Thanks.
Andrew Suniula off, and coming in wearing the 21 is Folau Nua. And some of the Scottish fans may be familiar with the Folau and his Glasgow Warrior efforts on the line out. Handled well by Scotland.
Better from Jim Hamilton at the back there.
Some good pressure by the U.S., however, to take things back a notch.
That's once.
Use it, the call, and Laidlaw with the box. Up top.
Short kick there.
Visser getting over the top of Scully.
Danger.
And then Laidlaw taken down nicely by Coolican. Stepping forward is Gordon Reed. Spun to Cowan. He runs into Clever and Khalifi. On the bounce, Finn Russell. Right side to Duncan Taylor. U.S. is trying to reorganize here, and Hamilton into the fray. Stepping back is Hogg.
Oh, great
Hogg
feet.
Off to Cowan. I don't think he got it cleanly, and the whistle.
Boy, that's a missed opportunity by Scotland. Cowan right there in the gap, and Hogg does such a great job to draw multiple defenders and just use those quick feet of his side to side. And just grasping at air are the Eagles around Hogg. Great job creating that space for Cowan to run through, but they can't connect for the pass, and the United States gets a break.
23 minutes into the first half of a 40-minute half, and a 10-3 advantage for Scotland. The stretcher coming out, and Andrew going to take a seat, and we certainly wish him the best heading off. Nick Gismondi.
All right, guys, yeah, big break here for the United States, and not a good one. Andrew Suniula being wheeled off right now. He is on the stretcher in a lot of pain on that left knee, it looks like. They brought him off to the Scottish side, sat him down, and then he couldn't go any further than that. They brought the stretcher over. They're going to take him to the locker room right now, and he's being escorted by the team's doctor as well.
So losses already of Phil Teal and Andrew Suniula for the United States. It's really you're down 2 men before you even get to where you get wanting to put in your reserves, and you're forced to play a couple right now.
Yeah, clearly Drew in a lot of pain, and it's such a shame too, because his little brother gets his first start in the 10 jersey right inside you, and you have visions before the game of what you want that to look like. I talked to the Suniulas before how excited they were to play side by side. Disappointment for both of them.
Petrie feeds. Can he get it out of there? He does, but right there is Laidlaw. Petrie goes down. Can the U.S. come out of here with this one? Yes, they do. On the bounce, off the foot and forward, so no knock on by Wiles. And then
yeah, I think the AR actually, he asked the AR if he saw one, because he was on the ground.
We'll take another look.
Push me.
Kind of an awkward pass out of the back.
I thought it hit him in the shin. Let's see if there were hands involved.
Well, he chalked that up to scrum pressure. Petrie has to pick it up quickly from the back. He gets tangled up in the ruck. At the back, you got a guy, a forward with the ball in his hands and can't get it to Wiles.
I stay here, on this side. Yes. Keep walking.
It's a load up front for Scotland with Reid, Lawson, and Cross. Taking on Khalifi, Kulikan, and Fry.
U.S. really needs to dig in here.
Fine. Set.
Laidlaw waiting to put it in. Gets the okay from referee Gazer.
Use it.
And the use it call. They'll move it forward, will Scotland. And now Laidlaw takes it out. Left side.
It's okay, it's okay.
Spun off to Lamont. Lamont outside to Visser. Visser looking for yet another. Flings it back. Lamont off the foot of Laidlaw, I believe. We'll see if that was a knock.
Well, what an amazing cover tackle coming across by Seamus Kelly wearing the 13 jersey.
Line out.
Check that, that's Wiles.
So they do say off the USA. As Laidlaw able to essentially kick it forward and then off an eagle.
Yeah, the U.S. can't really contest there. They can't send their man as high as they want to.
Will they roll this ball all the way? They do toward the goal line, and
Strakash,
held up.
Strakash is held up. That's a big man to hold up, by the way.
Good job defensively by the United States. Certainly momentum in the blue jerseys by Scotland.
Yeah, but crunch time again. A scrum will come as a result.
Nice take by Beattie, going up high. Strakash, you see him in there.
Look at little Shalom Suniula comes over.
No.
Just takes Strakash for a ride here.
Yeah.
Just turns him over just enough. Petrie really got the two smallest guys on the U.S. team holding up that try.
Grab that oval. They did.
They have a crunch time here. I mean, take a look at where Scotland is. The pressure they put on this U.S. scrum already in the first three. If you're Gordon Reid, you're licking your chops.
I don't need.
The uncapped, now first capped Scottish prop. This is where you go to work, Bill. This is what you do the hard yards for. So you get an opportunity like this 5 meters out. Feeling like you have command of your opposition.
Backed into a corner. Will the Eagles respond? Just 5 meters out is Scotland. The ball's in there.
Stalemate. Ball at the back.
Beatty, the 8, keeping it between his boots. Picks it up. Laidlaw, flat down the right side. Visser for yet another. Did he stretch over? Hit it. They're going to go to the TMO. Going to take a look at this one.
Andrew?
I got to say, if you're referee Gazer, you're right there. You're not going to get a better look than where he was. He was in great position for this.
Yeah.
But if he didn't see it
Try
and he
yes
wants
to
to
no.
take a look, then certainly
If not
it's his
try,
option.
I'm back to advantage for scrum.
So try yes or no is the directions to the TMO.
The TMO is Andrew Hosey of Canada. Here's what he's looking at essentially. Visser reaching toward the line and woohoo.
Yeah, it looks, I don't know, it looks like he might have spilled that one forward. Working off the blindside wing. You got to account for him first of all though, and take one more look. Yeah, I don't think he had downward pressure.
There's a lot of households in Scotland right now telling you you're crazy.
Take a look again.
Yeah.
Stretches out. No, there's no pressure there. I'd say no try. You know, I'm not biased or anything.
I agree with you, okay? You lose the control of the ball. Penalty here, I'm back here.
So out to a 5-meter scrum, I believe the call by Pascal Gazer.
Going and that ball's still in. And a flanker pops off his shoulder. Can we address that ball?
Keep this.
But your back goes off.
There's the man of the moment, the referee Gazer. You see Pastrana and Asmus, the assistant referees, and the TMO.
Well, hey, and check, you got to chalk that up to a victory for the U.S. scrum. 5 meters out, they're banging on the door. U.S. scrum holds, and then you end up with the ball. And again, if you're Scotland, you're scratching your head. This is what we saw in the Six Nations of Scotland. Banging on the door and not able to take points out of it.
26 minutes in, Scotland with a 10-3 lead. The scrum going to be fed by Scotland. 5 meters out.
Fine. Set.
Pretty good turn by Scotland, and Beatty picks it up, moves toward the line, did not get it in on the first motion, and a whistle.
Okay.
Gazer going to check with.
He called held up.
So held up is the ball, and they'll come back out.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Must be straight.
Beatty
No
picked it
winning.
up, the 8 for Scotland. And another look.
Come on. Process.
Johnny with the scoop, and
Process.
Too straight.
yeah, he just got turned the wrong way. Really couldn't place it down. And a nice job in there by Blake Scully, making sure he stayed at that angle.
Crutch.
So they'll do it again. How many times can the U.S. answer the call? 5 meters out in a scrum for Scotland. They've engaged. That collapses. They'll re-rack. You saw earlier the pack weights and the advantage for Scotland. 2011 against 1,953 pounds for the 8s.
I was wondering, Bill, why after the no try call on Visser, Scotland got the ball back. Turns out it was a penalty against Fry for standing up.
Back in the scrum.
And so
Yeah.
Scotland elected to have another scrum.
Crutch.
U.S. withstanding the pressure pretty well.
28 minutes into this one, and I believe Scotland now has about 20 minutes of possession time to the U.S.'s 8.
Early push.
Early push,
Early push.
and so a penalty kick, a free kick, I should say, for Scotland.
Scrum.
But they choose the scrum,
stop.
and why not?
Yeah, and they'll
They
keep
felt
going
pretty
back
good.
to it.
Yeah.
Early push. Scrum.
A look at Jim Hamilton, man of the match against Ireland in 13. Jim kind of sticks out, 6'8" and 275.
Come on.
He is not sneaking into the movies easily anytime soon.
Yesterday during line-out training, he was getting lifted at the back, really calling his own number because he's making those calls, and you should hear the players grunting to get him in the air.
They're probably groaning when he makes the call, even before they lift.
And then he comes down and steps on one of their feet. It's no good either way.
It's a beaut.
Set.
Scotland with a 10-3 lead, trying to add to that. 29 minutes into the first half. That one breaks down, and a penalty kick awarded to, I think there's a card coming out. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Too many infringements for your team.
Too many infringements, the word from Pascal Gazer, and Alif Khalifi going to step off. Now you need a prop.
Khalifi going to work against Jeff Cross, getting a lot of pressure. Cross is a mountain of a man and really a technician. Khalifi can't continue to hold up.
Oh, wait.
He comes off, and Nick Wallace getting ready to go in, and we'll see how the U.S. configures.
Yeah, they're
their defense.
And they're going to have to send another one off as well when Nick Wallace comes in. You got to have 3 front rowers, so United States will have to elect another player.
Yeah. No. You lose the heat. Time on.
Hayden Smith going to step toward the bench.
What do you want? Scrum?
So Nick Wallace in, the 24-year-old from Bellingham, Washington, a St. Mary's, 3-time All-American. Hayden Smith stepping off, so 15 on 14. Scotland with the advantage. Almost 30 minutes in to a 40-minute first half with a 10-3 lead for the guys with the Thistles.
Well, you could have taken a nap by the time they get out of this corner. It seemed to have been there all afternoon.
See if they look blindside, motion toward that way. Scrum spun around. Can they get it moving forward?
Penalty try coming up.
Penalty try awarded to Scotland. So you get so many chances to really defend yourself from 5 meters in, and in Pascal Gazer's estimation, that was enough. So 5 points given to Scotland here to give them a 15-3 lead. Still waiting for the conversion.
Yeah, Petrie thought the ball had come out the back.
Filed under too little, too late.
Ball, please.
Well, you know, we talked about the keys to the game earlier, and if Scotland could control that scrum and get points when they're inside the U.S. half, and that's exactly what we've seen so far, and it hasn't been pretty.
Laidlaw converts and make it 17-3. Another look at the penalty try
For the both team. Give it the bench.
awarded to Scotland.
Yeah, a lot of pressure from Scotland here.
And so the United States already with the player losses of Phil Teal, Andrew Suniula, down 2, not to the break yet. Still about 8 minutes to go.
Credit Blaine Scully for going up after that ball.
Lou Stanfill swung down.
No.
Still almost 10 minutes left in this first half. U.S., they're not out of this by any stretch, and they need to come up with some points here. A try would be great.
Off the foot from Suniula to the corner, but nobody there but Stuart Hogg. And Hogg taken down. Hey.
Nice chase by Luke Hume. U.S. on the counter ruck.
U.S. pops the ball out. Wallace giving chase. Right at the 22.
No.
The Eagles down 14. Left side goes Kulikin. Spun back. Nick Wallace taken down.
U.S. they're too flat. They need to get a little bit more depth and come onto the ball with a little bit of pace here.
No, inside.
Sending the forwards into the fray. Let's see what a back might do. Dolan steps back and gains something on Scott Lawson.
No, again, though, Dolan taking that ball flat-footed. I want to see him take the ball with some pace.
Pace is Nua. Full out. About 8 meters out. The U.S. getting even closer. Seamus Kelly.
U.S. right there on the doorstep.
2 meters out. Clever.
Well, this will be a TMO shot.
Yeah.
The question on the first movement, was that it?
Well, the AR, the assistant referee, looks like he was asked. He said he thought it might have been a double movement.
To act as scoring.
You get really one bite of the cherry here, and it's you stretch. You're allowed one movement to the goal line with the ball. Take a look at Clever. Fighting towards the line, a good push from the back.
He's on the other side, and you see him stretching through there. The question is, was it on his initial one? Rolling over is Kelly.
Again, there's Clever. He'll get a push.
Clever back toward the goal line. Stokosh got him by the ankle, and looks like Todd's going to spin.
So now he can reach once.
With the elbow, and
that's a try. That is a try.
All it has to do is hit a piece of that paint.
Five penalty, 5 minutes. Yeah. Andrew.
I don't think Pascal Gazer.
Andrew, I'm very comfortable. I'll make a decision. For me, it's clear double movement. Okay, no try penalty. Are you happy with that?
Oh, I think that's a bad call.
Thank you.
I think that's single movement. He's allowed to stretch out for that ball. I think the U.S. gets robbed.
And away they go. As the U.S. was setting back up, maybe thinking that they were going to just hit a conversion somewhere. Not the case. Luke Hume with it. Luke Hume meets Alistair Stokosh. Wallace. That was a tough call against the Eagles.
Especially the rarity that they've been able to get the ball in their hands, first of all, and then secondly, inside that Scottish 22.
Hogg.
Well, there's a break. A rare mistake by Hogg. One of the most composed fullbacks. Great set of hands.
It's not a real time. Not a real time.
The British and Irish Lion, Stuart Hogg, making a rare error.
And so the U.S. just about 22 meters out. Another look at Hogg. Got those eyes. Was looking upfield.
Can I have the time, please? Can you give me the time?
Little over 5 minutes to go in the first half, and a 17-3 lead for Scotland here on Universal Sports. Scotland 10th ranked in the world, the United States 18th. They are going to get together in the 2015 Rugby World Cup in London.
8 minutes.
And
8 minutes. Yeah.
They'll have something to talk about when they get there, and that's this showdown tonight.
Let's go. Thank you, sir.
Left.
I don't want to put a curse here, but we haven't seen too many guys down with cramps, and usually in this type of weather and a dramatic perspiration and weight loss. We have seen a couple Americans off with injuries. Phil Teal and Andrew Suniula. Big scrum for the U.S.
Yeah, and the crowd getting behind him here.
Petrie puts in and wheels around, and Dolan takes a look at him, and Cam calls his own number. and then runs into the duo of Lamont and Visser.
Nice rumble off the back by Cam Dolan.
Swatted away from Stanfill, kept in.
Scully needs help.
Yeah, he definitely needs help. Fry reaching in there. And in from the side.
Well, too much pressure on themselves.
Side entry 7.
Jim Hamilton looks like he's grabbing that right ankle.
Before. What?
Yeah, that breakdown area can be such a meat grinder. We've seen a couple times already tonight.
Hey.
In the contact area.
Kick downfield and taken by Wiles. Hamilton still being worked on, so 15 on 14 at the moment, and lifted into the air by Wiles. Russell to Hogg. Spins it right side. And outside there is Duncan Taylor. Taylor off the boot on a couple bounces to Wiles. Wiles, tough angle, left-footed. Able to work that one back in. Nicely done. Coming back is Scotland.
Hogg. No, that's Russell.
And Russell with the 60-degree wedge, laying that one out. Full Alnua, left-footed, a spiral into touch.
That's the
stretcher's already out for Jim Hamilton. A tough night for several. Now they retract the stretcher. We'll see if they can work without that. A hot night in Houston, and Hamilton, that left ankle. You see him go to it right away.
Yeah, you know, some injuries you see them and you can tell that there might be a chance where you can play on. Player grabs his ankle like that, and normally that's a sign that they're done for the night.
Nick Gismondi a little closer to the action for us. Nick.
Okay, guys, yeah, Jim Hamilton on his way off right now. They were quick to not only stabilize that ankle in Saran Wrap it, but also got some ice on it real quickly. He was in substantial amount of pain when they first got over to him. He has not put any pressure on that right now, and he is finally just making his way off the pitch and onto the sideline now. We'll see if they bring the stretcher back over to him or not.
Lawson with a dart to Beatty on the line out. Cowan with the cap on. Nick Wallace and Cam Dolan tending to him. Laidlaw, the box. Clever just misses, and a whistle.
Well, this will be a kickable penalty for Chris Wiles.
Offside.
19.
Scotland, the call on Grant Gilchrist just into the contest. And they point to the post. Does referee Pascal Gauzère. So Chris Wiles going to put the tee down and take a shot at it. And there is Grant, under 19 captain. Made his Scottish debut against France in 2013. 6'8", 260.
So he'll be the little one now.
Hey, Peanut, come on and help. Grant, by the way, a MacPhail scholarship winner, meaning he got to do some time in New Zealand studying the game, and a great place to do it. Wiles trying to get the U.S. a little closer. That one's not going to get it. That'll be returned by foot from Sean Maitland.
Luke Hume will go quickly here.
Hume in touch.
Nope.
Feigns whipping it back in on the quick line out, but instead tries to put it down fairly close to where the touch judge says. We are probably in the final few seconds of the first half.
And the U.S. has been playing a man down the whole time, and Khalifi finds his way back on the field.
And that means Hayden Smith coming back in too, as Nick Wallace will come out. He had to come in when Khalifi came off for the yellow card. that eventually resulted in a penalty try for Scotland, and that the 17-3 lead. Visser also crossing the paint for Scotland after Laidlaw got the scoring started and a 3-0 lead on that penalty goal. Wiles answered back to even things at 3, and then Visser's try and the penalty try. 17-3. Scotland with the lead. The line out on the far side. Tossed in by Kulikan. Petrie. It's high, it's not far, and it's not fielded cleanly. On a bounce it goes, and
well, interesting option there. Petrie goes to the foot instead of out to the backs. Had Todd Clever out there for a rumble from the shortened line out. So instead of the half ending, you end up with Scotland and a penalty.
And so Finn Russell going to do the honors into touch.
Yeah, you stay in the 10 meter.
And it'll be outside the 22. Will be the line out for Scotland.
It's crazy.
Can't be too much time left, you would think. And a good look at a man that's the face of determination, I would say, is Alistair Strokosh. Back to it, right out of Strokosh's hands, and looky there, Blair Cowan on the spot. Ball rolls around on the ground a bit. Lawson comes inside, and stepping forwards, Duncan Taylor. On the bounce, fielded well by Hogg. Chip to the corner, Richie Gray heading toward it, and so is Luke Hume. Into touch it goes.
Well, 40 minutes on the clock, and we've had some injuries, though.
Yeah, the stadium clock has 40, but that's it. Okay.
It's not my fault.
That's the first half between the United States and Scotland. A couple of tries, one of the penalty variety for Scotland. Also Tim Visser getting it across. And a 17-3 lead at the intermission. Scotland over the United States on a warm night in Houston at BBVA Compass Stadium. Todd Clever and the Eagles heading in. Greg Laidlaw and Scotland out there. We'll be back with more after a brief timeout on Universal Sports. the intermission in Houston, Texas, it is Scotland with a 17-3 lead on the United States. Highlights from the first half of the showdown. And Scotland getting on the board first. Greg Laidlaw with a penalty goal.
Yeah, his second attempt, though. 3 points left on the board.
Getting things even was Chris Wiles. And then Scotland's Tim Visser. Mistake coverage on the side there by Scotland, and by the United States, I should say, and Visser takes advantage of it. Injuries in the first half. Andrew Suniula went down. Phil Teal also off for the USA. And then after several attempts at it, the referee, Pascal Gazer, awarding a penalty try for Scotland.
Yeah, and to me, this is one of the difference makers here. It looks like Clever. To me, he gets one motion, he touches the paint with that ball, and it's a 7-pointer in my opinion, or at least a 5-pointer. I could be a little bit biased, but I think that was a good try. So close, and the United States not had a whole lot of success inside the Scotland 22, and they haven't had a whole lot of ball, Bill. A lot of time consumed by Scottish scrums so far.
You take a look at the statistics, and as they lead, you see 7 minutes inside the 22 by Scotland, and at one point it was 20 minutes to 8 in terms of possession.
Yeah, but the scrum statistics are misleading because the pressure that the United States has gotten when they're winning their own scrums has been absolutely profound.
It's a 17-3 advantage for Scotland at the intermission. We'll be back to talk more about that first half and get ready for the second here in Houston on Universal Sports.
Okay. Well, the Eagles trailing in this one 17-3 at the half against Scotland. They've got some ground to make up for when this thing resumes in the second half. Right now, joining me, a man with 45 caps, former Eagles captain Dan Lyle. Dan, we've been here before, and it's always a pleasure talking with you, but let's talk about that first half. Some injuries have highlighted it, and some close calls for the U.S. team.
Yeah, I think Bill and Brian would have identified it upstairs. Possession is key. Sounds like a cliche, doesn't it? But when you kick the ball away and you don't get it back, the Scotland team is going to be dangerous. They got a lot of pros. When we kept it, We scored a penalty, we put the team through phases, and we had that almost try. So in the second half, if we keep the ball and we have possession of the ball and use it, then we're good. And second of all, our team has got to step up. Our pros have got to play like pros, and the guys that are coming out of the best club championship in America have got to play a little bit step up. Then we have a chance in the second half.
Let's switch gears a little bit. I want to talk to you about the success of rugby here and the growth of it in the United States. We saw the college rugby championships do very well. You've got another sellout crowd here in Houston. Is this on the rise in the U.S., rugby?
Yeah, I think it's identified that rugby is growing. It's going to be the Olympic sport. The 15s World Cup coming up in England. NBC, Universal are doing some great things. The issue is that we don't have a professional league. So when you look at a game like tonight, you've got all pros versus a third or half the team is pros. So without a professional league, we need to focus heavily on the Collegiate Rugby Championship, the varsity cups. The colleges are our king. There's 5 guys out here from Cal. That's a high-performance environment, 5 days a week. So our universities, the varsity system, Scholastic in America, what we know, Olympics and Scholastic, that's what we need to focus on until that league comes.
Dan, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for everything you're doing for USA Rugby. All right, that is Dan Lyle. When we come back, the Eagles with some road to hoe. They are trailing by 14. It is 17-3 at the half. We'll be back with the second half kickoff after this.
Okay. Do we have a number on possession? I know it was 20. The throwdown in H-Town. Scotland and the United States, this international rugby showdown, and so far, after one half, it is Scotland with a 17-3 lead. Bill Seward, Brian Hightower with you on Universal Sports. And thanks for joining us, and also to our friends in Scotland, seeing that first half. I'm guessing Vern Cotter not giddy about the first half, but probably okay, and that his team, as you see, dominating.
Yeah, and so far that's what we've taken a look at on the field. A dominant Scotland scrum, and they're really pushing the United States. You can tell the number of times that they've voluntarily chosen to go to the scrum. And, it's all about possession. And so far, most of that possession has been Scotland.
26 minutes to 14. It could have been a lot worse, as a matter of fact. There's some missed opportunities. Greg Laidlaw, his first kick, iron unkind, put the mining helmet on.
Yeah, they got to have moments like that.
Then off the line out.
Yeah, again, and credit the United States defense here, but Scotland will be frustrated to get that close and not come away with those points.
Salome Soniola holding things up, and then just a clear runaway for Cowan. Can't hit Visser on the hands, has to go forward.
Yeah, hey, look, Cowan's a debutant. that ball goes one step earlier, and Visser's under the post again. But, you know, like the graphic said, it's an ugly game. And look, in my opinion, you spend 15 minutes parked down in the corner of a field with a scrum continuously being played out and reset. It's just ugly.
And then the case that there is Jim Hamilton being looked at, his right ankle. We saw him go off very quickly, but Jim's hanging out here. Maybe he can get it back. We certainly hope for his situation. Yeah, you see the only victory there against the Six Nation teams came back in 1924, so never knocking off really a Tier 1 squad for the United States. In order to do so tonight, they would have to come back. You saw Dan Lyle there talking to our Nick Gismondi, and Dan knows a thing or two about facing Scotland. The 3 times that the U.S. has taken on Scotland in 2000, 2002, and then the Rugby World Cup in 03. And tonight, at the moment, Scotland with a 174-47 advantage in the scoring. And in those games, at least 2 of those 3, Scotland was absolutely blew the doors off after halftime. So we will see if Vern Cotter has a squad that's raring to put some points up in the second half or not, and can the United States, after losing a couple of key players in the first half, can they respond in the second half?
Well, they can claw their way back in. What they got to do is start with putting points on the board, and they got to be the next team to do it. It's a step-by-step incremental process, but they got to be a lot more clinical. And an ugly game right now favors Scotland.
Andrew, can you hear me?
Balls dropped on the ground are going to result in scrums. The scrum is in favor of Scotland. Yeah. Advantage the Scots. You got to keep an open running game. You got to harness that energy, even though you're wilting out there in the heat. Runners have to penetrate. We've seen a lot of flat-footed ball carriers getting the ball from the back of a ruck, and it's just not good enough. They need to be more dangerous with the ball in hand.
Finn Russell with the second half kick. And the United States with possession. The substitution in here as Eric Fry comes out, and Nick Wallace, who saw some time in the first half, as Beattie. Johnny heading it back for Scotland.
Boys out.
Out of the hands of Strokosh. Kind of a mash there, and picked up by the United States. Full out Nua doing the Stooges. Whoop, whoop. Off to Clever. Clever pounds forward. Taken down. Khalifi. The advantage is over. Suniula. Capable tackle by Finn Russell. The 10 taking 10. Off the hands, will it go to Scotland on the bounce? Oh. And the whistle.
Yeah, and a bit of a wild pass there from Shalom. Suniula tries to find Nick Wallace, but it's just one of those 50-50 passes that shouldn't have been made.
What was it like at halftime? The U.S. locker room? We check in with Nick.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I talked to the U.S. side when they came back out, and really they didn't make any changes and don't plan to. The only one is that Eric Fry is off and Nick Wallace is back on. They feel like it's going okay right now, and they're just going to keep the pressure on. The other thing to mention is that it is 10 degrees cooler right now, so says the barometer, than it was at kickoff. It does not necessarily feel like that down here on the pitch, though. One more thing to mention, Suniula is off. He will not be coming back on. All they're going to say is that it is his knee. We're not sure about whether he will return anytime soon.
That's Andrew Suniula, who you saw injured in the first half, is off, and Brother Shalom in there, kind of a wild pass a second ago. A bit cooler here in Houston. The teams have seemed to weather it well. Let's give some credit to Scotland. Got here a couple days in advance, and that was certainly a concern for Vern Cotter. His team doesn't seem to be bothered too much by the humidity. And it's not a dry heat.
Well, there's still 40 minutes left in this game, too. So, you know, they may feel all right now, but they've only played a half. So I think the bench is still going to play a pretty big impact if it can remain close in the late stages.
So Fry is out. Teal is out because of injury. Same for Andrew Suniula. Still have a prop on there on the bench. Tidi Lamasatelli, the 19-year-old. We may see him during the course of this second half. Mike Petrie feeds the scrum, gets spun around, And
Leave it, Blue.
I believe Dolan taken down.
Okay.
Hustling over to make the grab is Coolican. And then possession by Scotland, but
First no call.
out of there.
Second.
Couple
First
of
is white.
knock-ons, and might see ourselves another scrum with the feed into Scotland.
Yeah, and again, pressure on the U.S. scrum and trying to get their own ball. Cam Dolan comes up with it at the back, but kind of on roller skates while he's doing it, and it's really difficult maneuver.
Got a substitution coming in, and that will be Maury Lowe.
Well,
Square, okay.
Jeff Cross coming off and
Give
First
some
come for
credit to
you,
Jeff Cross.
done well in the scrum tonight, and perhaps playing with a heavy heart. Jeff Cross
Don't push before.
lost his father a couple nights ago. Wearing a black armband tonight around the sleeve in his honor.
Come.
A real warrior.
Clutch.
Jeff Cross, a doctor. His dad, his father, a doctor.
Fine. Set.
Scrum can't get to the point where time is going to be off, and I think we're going to hear from referee Pascal Galzer.
1 blue, 3 white.
Well, Khalifi's going to get an earful here.
I think it's
I don't need no help.
1 blue and 1 white.
No, I don't need no help. 2 scrum no study in a square, okay? Yeah. It's your fault, okay? It's a warning now. Make sure I need scrum is stable after set. You know that? I give the information in the change room. Yes, sir. Are you happy? Yes, sir.
Are you I don't know if you're happy. You got to wait until you get the, until this scrum is over. I'm not sure. I thought he was going to be happy.
I thought he was going to finish it up with, are you happy and you know it? Clap your hands. Back they go to reset this one.
Closer.
Khalifi,
Coolican
and Wallace taking on Reed, Lawson, and Lowe.
Bind. Set.
Ball in.
Use it the ball.
Lawson moving it back, and on the move is Scotland. And with some motion, Hogg in turn finds Maitland.
Nice job by Folau Nua coming over, just easing Maitland into touch.
Surprised Maitland went that route.
Great strike runner.
Yes. You get to that point where you're running out of real estate.
Sean Maitland grew up in New Zealand, played for the Baby Blacks in the 08 Junior World Cup, along some famous names like Zach Gilford and Israel Dagg. He's got Scottish grandparents, though, and he's now wearing the thistle on his chest.
Yeah, played for those New Zealand under-20s. Petrie fakes the box, and Mike Petrie taken down by Cowan. The flip goes. It turned to Hayden Smith.
Great little poke around the fringe there. The dummy sold by Petrie. Ineffective.
Still flat and parallel for the U.S. as Clever taken down.
Seamus Kelly straight ahead.
Right at halfway. Nua. Full out.
Really hard to be the first man into the ruck when you're not sure where the ruck's going to be.
Hold!
Wiles sends one high. Hogg goes up. Taken down by Lavala.
Bottled up by Seamus Kelly. Nice chase. Commitment by the United States. They got to set this wall up, and they got to prevent this wide Scottish attack.
Put away.
And away goes Scotland off the penalty. Bounce toward Richie Gray, and he reaches out, does the 6'9" Gray. And it takes a few Eagles to bring him down. To touch they go on the far side.
Okay, line out. You go straight on line out? Ball goes straight in the line out?
Line out.
Yeah? Option or no?
So the line out on the far side.
Blue ball, yeah.
Referee's asking if the ball went straight out, or whether it was knocked out. And looked like the U.S. had stolen the ball and then lost it into touch. So it's going to be a Scotland line out, according to the assistant ref.
Same for your team.
The honors going to Scott Lawson on the line out. Lawson, the veteran, 43 caps, 05 Argentina debut.
U.S. did a lot of film work on this line out.
Up high and grabbed by Gilchrist. And back on the motor is Scotland. And a big hit on Finn Russell. He made the debut, and making that debut and delivering the hammer for the U.S. is Seamus Kelly.
Well, ball kind of bobbled around, and Kelly just, you got to your eyes start lighting up when you see that. Great shot by Kelly.
Tough pass for Finn to come up with. Trying to coax it in with that left hand, and Kelly really just given open season on that one.
U.S. played some committed rugby in this first 8 minutes, but they got to start
Come closer, 18 blue.
Clawing their way back. They got to start getting some points on the board.
They got to score. They got to score and be on the board here soon. Good look at Scott Lavala.
One of the things that the U.S. we've seen tonight is there's some phases where they look dangerous and some phases where they don't, and they got to start to really kind of flip around the percentage of phases where they're taking flat ball and meeting the defense before the gain line versus the amount of penetrating runs that they're taking, some heat off the ball and really taking the ball at pace and creating some frustration on the Scottish defense.
Scrum fed, and Dolan able to stretch out his legs a bit. Let's see if the U.S. can get something from here. Stanfield.
Well, here they're bunched now, and you got to get numbers outside.
Suniula. Nice tackle inside by Blair Cowan.
Looked like an inside ball to Scully.
Play advantage.
The advantage being played.
Still advantage penalty.
Suniula off to Wiles. Spins it around. Tries to present it there. Does. Petrie to Hayden Smith.
Referee still playing a long advantage. Now he brings it back finally. It's going to be a penalty against Scotland. And this should be well within Wiles' range.
Wait.
Luke Hume wants to tap it and go
Straight
alone.
Down.
1 on 15.
Sort of looking around. You kick here or not? The tee started onto the field.
You got to take
decision
points.
Making, and yes,
they've been so rare. You know, look for your points to come from other breaks, other phase play that's going forward.
A couple minutes ago we saw big Richie Gray with a nice run, and a little more insight on Richie with our Nick Gismondi.
Yeah, Richie Gray, the number 4. He's 6'9", 278 pounds. The 24-year-old comes in as the tallest and biggest guy on Scotland's side. But you compare that to the smallest. That's Craig Laidlaw, the 9, the kicker. He's 5'9", 175 pounds. Now, he may be the lightest. He's not the shortest. Scott Lawson actually is. He's only 5'8".
And a look at Laidlaw. Had the collar up earlier. I think Scott Hastings used to wear that collar up, didn't he? Kind of sporty. A huge attempt here by the United States, and Wiles gets them 3. So suddenly, after the kick, 11 points down is the United States. Got the start here. I know what you're going to say. Who needs to score next?
They got to keep piling them on. U.S. doing a pretty good job of playing in the Scottish half. Really got to keep the hammer down. This is when, you know, you start to lose your legs a little bit because of the heat, and you got to start to crank up the focus. A nice take out of the air by Stanfield. A good lift and well timed.
It's a ball!
Yes, it is a ball. The call by Pascal Gozer. Petrie up high. Beattie flings it off to Maitland. Lavala with the takedown. And the whistle off the feet. The United States.
Straight down. You attack the
pointing at Nick Wallace.
Okay, you must attack the ball.
So penalty called against Clever for being off his feet, I believe, in the ruck.
You got Clever, I got Wallace. To the corner it goes. Inside the 22. How far in?
You must attack the ball,
about
okay?
5 meters.
You attack the field. You attack the field, okay?
Yeah, he's talking to Wallace.
So you're recanting your Clever call right now.
I am recanting.
Yeah,
Thank you. Sidebar.
Thanks.
And here comes Lamosatelli.
Open. Stay.
And that's all they're going to get tonight out of Olive Khalifi.
7.
Little dangerous here at the 52-minute mark. Lamosatelli comes in.
But you know, I said as much earlier. They expected to get 60 minutes out of Khalifi, but with the heat, knock that back a few, and they need to get a spark from Lamosatelli. Great steal off the top.
The big mitt, the hand of Cam Dolan.
Well, that'll look familiar to Scottish fans. And again, we talked about it before. Scotland's got great players. They're all professionals. They need to come up with these moments and be clinical
7 wide.
at crucial times. Pressure from Scotland.
Thought there was a kick coming there. There's not. Is there a try?
No.
The U.S. trying to motor it out of there. They'll bring it out to the 5 meters. Is it a 22 out or 5?
It'll be 5. It'll be a scrum. United States carrying the ball back in to their in-goal area and then not being able to take it out.
It looked dangerous there when the ball was pitched back, and you thought the U.S. was going to kick as Todd Clever's slow to get up.
Yeah, the bottom of that pile. He's fighting just to get back across that line to play another phase.
No offside, nothing.
Looks like he's going through the initial stages of a concussion protocol. When you take a knock to the head, anytime the doctor comes out, the first thing they're going to look at is your eyes, ask you a couple questions.
Got a substitution going for the USA. Danny Barrett, USA 7's man, coming in. Another look at Todd Clever in goal and in trouble.
Just using his head best he can. Maybe a little knock between the eyes there. Not a man who's easy to bring off of the field. Played the rest of the Uruguay qualifier with broken ribs and played for quite some time. Is impressive looking back after that game. For anyone who's ever suffered from broken ribs before, it's a tough man.
Just breathing is really an ask.
Time off. Time on.
Good pressure by Scotland, though.
Laidlaw and Beattie talking it up. Greg getting set to feed the scrum with an 11-point advantage. Almost 54 minutes in.
Crunch.
You talked about Scotland being clinical, and the United States also needing to be clinical at the right times and not able to get out of their own half with the ball.
Driven forward and repelled by the United States. Pretty good pushback by them. So the cave-in blamed by Pascal Gauzère.
Well, the crowd celebrates the referee. Gauzère's arm going up in the direction of the United States, and at the scrum, that's the first time that's happened tonight.
Gordon Reed slow to go to get out of there. Initially, we saw the U.S. pushed around a bit on the scrum. What do you think so far? Getting a little more traction, are they?
Well, perhaps. And it could be a matter of the Scottish scrum getting a little fatigued. They've asked for quite a number of them. But yeah, eventually you find your feet. And the United States hasn't. We've seen them before get knocked back and backpedal significantly under the pressure of some Tier 1 nations. before, they've held their own decently tonight. They just haven't had that edge. They haven't gotten the shoulder that they want. They haven't really gotten the drive that they want off the scrum, and Scotland has pressured them. But, you know, overall, it's not a disaster. They are hanging in with the Scottish scrum.
On the line out, taken by Lavala. And some substitution on Scotland's side as Alex Allen in. Coming back the other way, the United States. Folau Nua. And the kick. Gordon Reid. He has now got a cap, and the United States has the ball, and it's in the hands of Nick Wallace. And out of his hands and knocked on by Lou Stanfill.
No advantage.
Yeah, they're looking on the Scottish sideline at Gordon Reid. His right leg as he comes out. Alex Allen in. There's a look at Nick Wallace.
And Wallace picks up a good ball off the ground, but goes to pass it and doesn't find his partner there. Take a look at this graphic. You know, we talked about the bench being important down the road here in Scotland with 100 caps on their bench, the United States with just 26, and it just shows the lack of experience and depth in this United States lineup.
Don't move your head.
So we talked about this, and we're 56 minutes in. The Scottish side has been playing a lot of rugby recently, and we were wondering, would that work in their favor or to their detriment? And so far on a hot night in Houston, it's to their favor.
I think Scully should have got that ball in the corner from Dolan and keeps it instead.
Clever rolling up forward. Back the other way goes the United States.
Nice drive by Scully. Numbers, quick ball necessary though.
Suniula to Kulikan. Lavala off his hands, bounces back, however. Wiles, can he make the best of it with Maitland in tow?
Good pressure by Maitland.
Hume off his foot, giving chase, but into touch it goes.
Well, you question that. You know, it's one of those things where
they fling it in on the line out, and quickly it goes the other way. Finn Russell pounds one toward the touchline and into the stands.
Well, U.S. on the blindside attack, and they get caught with very few options. Hume lays down a little chip kick, but he's got really no punch behind him to receive that kick, even if it does land in the right spot. So look at the net result. You're down inside the 22 one moment. You kick it away to the Scots, and they pin you behind your own halfway line.
Looking at the final 20-plus minutes for the U.S., is there an area of attack that you've seen so far from the defensive side of Scotland they might want to go at?
Well, you know, they've done well when they have the ball, and they've got depth in attack, and they're dangerous with the ball.
The possession so far substantially towards Scotland. Sent up high. Scully comes racing, makes the grab, and Stokosh with the tackle, and back comes the United States.
Danny Barrett with his first rumble. Just a go-forward kid from Cal. There's another go-forward kid from Cal, Seamus Kelly.
The Bears going at it. Lemasatelli.
Really committed.
No, 6.
By the United States.
Comes left side. Stuart Hogg goes up high and drilled down by Folau Nua.
Nice job by Nua.
A couple of Glasgow guys.
Inside.
Laidlaw gets it set, kind of opens himself toward the blind side, and
box kick coming.
Yeah, down over the head of Wiles. On a couple bounces, he retrieves. Gonna get some momentum and missile one toward the side, but taken nicely by Maitland and Sean. He can gather some steam. Danger. Stanfill on the tackle. 17-6. 60 minutes into an 80-minute contest. Left side. Duncan Taylor.
Yeah, weird step by Taylor. Almost looked like he was in some sort of distress. He's holding his leg. He took a step there and just awkward. I don't know if it's a cramp or what, but Duncan Taylor in some trouble.
The United States can get it back as Taylor is down now. Could be a 15-on-14 situation. Not wanting to give it up, however, is Tim Visser.
And a penalty advantage coming for the United States.
You sure about that? Yep.
After you have infringement, okay? First it in the side, second is side entry, okay? I can let advantage. You understand?
Yes. Well, again, a kickable situation here.
First is from the side, but 7, okay? I can donate advantage.
It's one of those games where they've kind of lulled things in here at 17-6. If the U.S. certainly within Wiles' range.
Well, we've seen some pretty good defense. We've also seen both teams kind of giving away a few balls, kicking away possession.
Taylor being tended to, and here he was going down as he comes down.
Watch the step. He pulls up. You can just tell as soon as he steps off that foot that he's in trouble. Not caused by contact. That looks like one of those soft tissue things.
It really did look early on almost cramp-like, where it just seized on him before he came down.
Yeah.
And you see everybody making sure they get hydrated.
Well, 2 years ago, Bill, interesting, there's an option that both teams talked about a couple of years ago about having a water break because of the heat, that they would stop after 15 or 20 minutes and then everybody would get some water and it would just be a mandatory stoppage. But both teams have to agree to it in order for that to be the case. And apparently there was talk of that happening again during this match, and the U.S. elected not to have that instituted water break, and maybe because they thought that they had the advantage on the Scots fitness-wise and in the heat. As we take a look at Alistair Strakosch, has gone out of the game. Also out of the game is Duncan Taylor.
A couple folks checking in. Number 23 is Max Evans. Also into the contest is Kieran Lowe, wearing number 20. The U.S. Kelly in the orange boots.
It's a good go forward ball by Kelly.
Right at the 22, and then Lavala rolls forward with it.
Unfortunate.
And the knock.
Yeah, out of the back of that ruck and just can't clean up the ball. Instead spills forward. And those are the kind of possessions where when you squander them, those are the chances that you need. Ball inside the Scottish 22, and how rare it's been for the United States to be in that type of real estate anyways. And this is a penalty that Laidlaw will take his time.
Tai Tuisamoa coming in. Lou Stanfill out.
What a warrior. Lou Stanfill. He's all heart. Well, he's all heart and shoulders, really. And he's been putting in some big hits tonight.
Tuisamoa, the 33-year-old. 6'4", 260. Impressive efforts against Russia and the Maori All Blacks. Thought we were going to see him and possibly teamed up with Samu Manoa, who's congratulations on the new family member for him. Not here tonight.
Well, we pray, yeah, okay.
Hey, listen, when you this stage of the game, when someone goes down to take care of their shoelaces, everybody says, hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
Take your time.
But he's barking about that one.
Sorry.
A look at Titi Lamosatelli, the 19-year-old. Got the cap at age 18, the youngest one for the USA. Scotland, as you see, pretty impressive on the scrum side, and one of them resulting in a penalty try.
Fine. Set.
Laidlaw shaking his head and didn't get the go from Pascal Gauzère.
Well, now we'll have the talk from Gauzère. We'll talk about squaring up.
Stable, stationary, stable.
Another look at the meeting.
Stable and stationary. It's your job. Stable and
The
stationary.
eights. Down it goes.
Stretch.
I thought that from that angle, Wallace really looked pretty good.
Bind. Set.
Free kick to the United States, pushing early.
United States was signaled for the free kick, not Scotland. Even though Johnny Beatty said, I think it's us. Dolan
runs into the teeth.
U.S. gets a score here, hey, and converts. Could be a 17-13 game.
No.
Well, the U.S. has been hanging around for a while.
This their best chance here in the second half. Taken away from Petrie. Play on the call. Tapped up to Mike. He gives to Suniula. Spins off the hands of Wiles and into touch. Can they get it? No. Maitland flings it back. Stuart Hogg with it. He whistles it back. Presence of mind. Well done by Laidlaw to get it downfield.
Yeah, that's one of those moments. The U.S. will look back. You know, every possession's so key. Scully's got to come down with that ball.
Another look.
Yeah,
it's a tough pass. It's an awkward pass. Suniula throws this like bullet flip pass. And hey, you know, it hits you in the hands. You got to come in with it.
So the line out on the near side. Tom Kulikin with the honors. Try to throw a dart up high. Maybe Lavala. Whistled before.
I don't need an early jump, okay? Okay, I don't need an early jump.
Dolan reaches up with a large hand.
More quickly. Quickly. Okay.
More quickly.
Quickly.
I don't, you know, I'm not sure the referee can demand the speed of the throw-in.
Yeah. Or he can just blow the whistle and say, do what I say. Suniula.
Deep.
Flying outside. Oh, make it or break it, and it's broken by Scotland. Going the other way is Grant Gilchrist.
Stuart Hogg.
Yeah, Hogg, I'm sorry. Stuart Hogg. Going to find the corner and a try.
Well, Scully is fully committed to that kick in the air, and it's Hogg versus Scully. And really, the winner of that catch was going to score.
Yep.
Because there's nobody out on the corner to defend either.
Another look. Stuart Hogg.
And that's what happens in rugby when you're a millisecond off your timing. And there's a reason why Stuart Hogg played for the British and Irish Lions. Such focus. You talk about a skill, coming down with the ball in the air, fully committed.
Done well, the young man. Debuted against Wales in 2012.
And you can just feel the air from the stadium just leaving like a deflated balloon. United States has stayed in it. First points of the half, really, for Scotland.
Severe angle on the conversion attempt by Laidlaw. Got it. Well done, Greg.
Well, you know, nobody's there to cover for the United States, and the simple matter is because they were attacking 2 seconds before this Hogg try. They're fully committed in attack. Suniula hoists the huge up and under. And Scully's got great aerial skills. He's done really well for himself at Leicester in the Premiership. Really become a great player and improving in leaps and bounds. But in that case, Stuart Hogg just gets the jump on that ball.
On the restart. Knocked around and into touch. And
local white.
line out on on the far side to Scotland.
Option. Yeah.
Will they go for the line out or the scrum?
Line out.
Line out the call.
Opening up.
Just under 12 minutes to go, and a 24-6 advantage for Scotland. Visser, Hogg, and a penalty try. Laidlaw
He's outside
with a three-pointer. And scoring for the U.S. 2 penalty goals by Chris Wilde.
Space.
And a few missed opportunities as well. The United States, with just over 10 minutes left in this contest, they just need to keep going to work. You know, this crowd has come to see them play. They still need to lift their game.
It's a maul.
The maul is on and the maul is moving. Smuggling it back is Kieran Lowe. And collapsing it on the U.S. side, so the penalty awarded to Scotland. Titi Lamusatelli down there on the ground. Scotland, of course, tonight with the Eagles, and a week from tonight, they take on Canada. A week after that, it is Argentina. And the week after that, you have won the trifecta, sir.
And a really interesting a shuffle of players, and it's interesting what Vern Cotter's going to have to do with these squads. He's going to be shipping some guys home back to Edinburgh, and he's going to be bringing some guys on to tour. And by the time they hit South Africa, they'll be out of the June test window. And my understanding from talking to their manager is that they're not going to have access to their premiership players besides the guys from Edinburgh and from Glasgow. So interesting selection dilemma really for Vern Cotter. I mean, he's going to show up to really the toughest match of this tour without full access to his team.
Pat MacArthur, the toss up high. Coming back the other way, losing some ground is Scotland, as MacArthur trying to recover on that one, and the whistle off the feet. And so Scotland once again.
A clever call for not playing the Scottish player from his feet. It just adds to more frustration.
Finn Russell sends it down. Going to make it into touch, not by much. Well done by him to get it out just outside the 22.
If Scotland's going to come away with the win tonight, I'm wondering if you're Vern Cotter, you take a look really at what you've seen, and really, you know, there's some good things. And there's also a lot to work on. You know, some of the being clinical when you need to be clinical. The number of times that they've gotten down and really taken their time to put points on the board, coming away without a try, giving away some of their line-out ball.
Clever grabs the errant line-out, comes back the other way for the U.S. Down 18 with 8+ minutes to go. The most recent try scorer, Hogg, downfield, and Clever slow to get up. Tucking that right arm in. Off the foot of Shalom Suniula and into touch.
But you know, interesting choice. You got Scottish players kind of dragging around, and you got space on the corner. If you're you're the U.S. team, you're down by 18 points. You got 4 backs lined outside of you. To me, look, I know I'm a wing and I want the ball all the time, but you got to ship that ball out and you got to try to make something happen. Why not counterattack when you have the ball? There's only 9 minutes left in the game.
Another look at Todd Clever going forward and being grabbed by Alex Allen.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, you just hit the ground hard enough and you have a hard time getting up.
Electrolytes. 24-6, the U.S. trailing Scotland. And on the line out to the Scots. Maintaining possession. Sean Lamont rolling forward. Tim Visser's in there also. He got the first try of the contest.
Play on.
Gave Scotland a 10-3 lead in the first half and up 24-6 at this point. Kick toward the corner. on a bounce. Scully circles around it. Blaine gives it a boot back the other way. His counter number, Maitland, off to Hogg. The cutout to Finn Russell. Nice hands by Visser. Wow, might have been a high tackle there. We'll see. Spun around and flung down. The ball comes back inside off of Sean Lamont.
Danny Barrett covering a lot of ground.
Back the other way.
States.
There's Kieran Lowe to Cowan. Blair taken down. And holding on too long, so the penalty awarded to the USA. You're tackled with that ball, you got to present it. Get it out of there.
Booking out. Thank you, sir.
Wiles, left foot, into touch, and the USA. Well, tonight it's Scotland, but what's ahead? On the 14th, will be Japan. That to be played on Universal Sports and at StubHub Center in Carson. Also on the 21st against Canada in Sacramento. And then the big one in November, certainly, the All Blacks coming to Soldier Field. You ever think you'd see that?
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's pretty monumental for the exposure, really, of rugby in this country, and to have the All Blacks, it's really going to be some event. But I tell you what, there's some concerns. The United States, the way they're playing, I mean, they'll have some time together before November. But they kind of need to step the game up.
Maitland gathering some speed and then finding Rudy Jackson. Oh, and back to Jackson in the whistle. The knock on.
So the first knock, give the U.S. the scrum. You know, we really had about 5 straight minutes, it seems, Bill, just parked in the U.S. half, kind of unable to get out of it. The option's been to kick their way out of it, and a lot of that is frustration. If you can't run the ball across your own halfway line, then the only option is to kick it.
In some respects, we talked about this before, and we're just under 5 minutes to go in this contest. We kind of figured on a warm night in Houston, a couple of teams that maybe not razor sharp and have not seen scintillating skills of rugby. Not to put them all down. I mean, they've done some good things individually, but sporadically, it has not been a contest filled with great moments.
Yeah, neither team really has been crisp. Scotland had a few dangerous moves right in the beginning of the game. Looked like they were using some dummy runners, having guys changing up the angles a little bit. But even Scotland really hasn't put on much of a show in terms of their creativity.
You saw Sean Lamont wearing the 13 for Scotland. He, of course, a Commonwealth Games selection. Going to get back and play some sevens, burn those lungs out at 33. He says it's going to be one of the toughest things he's done. And I'd imagine that would be true. He would know. An 87th cap tonight for him.
Another penalty.
Free kick, second is penalty for you, okay? Early push.
Early push by Scotland.
Straight. Penalty. Sorry.
Penalty kick. Wiles goes left-footed down around 30-plus meters out.
You must be straight. You must be straight. No.
Alex Allen getting some tutelage from referee Pascal Gazer. Got to push straight. Alex, yet another one, making his debut tonight for Scotland. Contested in the air by the eights and taken almost by Clever off his hand. Away it goes to Visser. Visser chipping, chasing, but no, coming back is the USA. And rolling forward is Tim Maupin. The release call. Suniula. Tui Samoa. Picked up by Cowan, and another whistle. Knock and a knock.
First is white, no
So
advantage.
the scrum
Blue.
going to Scotland. These two teams, of course, going to meet in the Rugby World Cup in the fall of 2015. And you see the schedule for the United States. Once again, in September of 2015, they'll open up with Samoa. And then it's Scotland.
So interesting substitutions for the United States. You got Wiles now playing fly half.
Biting.
Clever with a
Clever's getting
gash over the left eye, we do believe. He will, I'm guessing, have to come out for that.
Yeah, he'll have to get that taken care of.
Change.
You know, it's possible too by the time they get Wiles cleaned up and
No, change. Sure.
Get that dealt with. That's pretty classic there. The eyebrow.
On the field, please. On the field. Yeah, it's too.
Well, almost looks higher though.
Yeah, he's going to need some stitches. You know, I think that's probably the last we'll see too. You know, you got 3 minutes left. The captain going off the field. But you know, Clever's had worse injuries than that. He'll bounce back for next week. So Shalom Suniula has gone from his fly half position and now he's playing scrum half.
And coming in is Chad London wearing the 22 for the United States.
Okay.
Folau Nua gets the directions from London, says you're playing fullback now. Scully will go to blindside flanker for Clever. Wiles will finish at fly half. Kelly moves to inside center. There's a lot going on out there.
And could you get me a jelly donut?
Use the ball.
The ball supposed to be put in. It's in there somewhere. And the whistle. So they'll redo the scrum here with just a couple minutes to go, we think. In a second half that saw Scotland leading 17-3 at the break. Wiles with a penalty goal to make it 17-6, and then the do-or-die play between Hogg and Scully. And Stuart Hogg came up with it and went the distance. As
can you check is the right
Clever
time?
being tended to.
Is the right time?
On the far side. Just about a minute to go, we think. Well, a minute to go on the stadium clock, and we'll see where that coincides with the time by Pascal Galzer.
Let's go, Swami!
Yeah, the heat just seems to have sapped all of the energy out of both teams. Really, it's the game is slowed down. Really, not a whole lot of dynamic movements on either side.
And pulling them down on the scrum, so the penalty to Scotland.
It's clear. You are in front
a couple
of
of prize fighters just sort of worn out, leaning in on each other.
Glenn, I'm sure that Finn Russell took a look at the clock and said, let's just hoof this one out. We'll go for the line out. We'll kick it into touch.
Somebody cramp up and go down.
Let's get out of Houston. 80 minutes on the clock. London comes back off. Clever goes in with the tape on his head. Scully comes back to fullback. I know you're trying to keep track of this, Bill. I'm doing the best I can.
I got my scorecard. Up high goes Gilchrist for the take. Punched forward, chasing after it.
Beautifully weighted chip there by Russell.
The right side goes Pat MacArthur. Is that Beatty with the collar up? Is he still out there? Got to get rid of that. Plugging along goes Alex Allen.
So Scotland Looking to go out with some points.
Wait. 19, roll away.
Oh, off the hands of Finn, and he takes a boot at it. That might do it. The knock on, and that's it. A victory for Scotland. And Coach Vern Cotter, his first time at the reins for the Scottish Warriors, results in a 24-6 victory over the United States.
I think at the end of the day, the U.S. wasn't able to come up with the moments that they needed and keep possession of the ball.
We will step aside, take another look at this one. 24-6, Scotland a winner on Universal Sports.
AIG is a proud sponsor of USA Rugby. AIG is a leading international insurance and financial services organization, serving commercial, institutional, and individual customers in more than 30 countries. Canterbury, the world's original rugby brand, they are proud to be partners of USA Rugby, getting out players from grassroots to elite level rugby both on and off the field since 1904. Visit CanterburyFS.com today. Smith & Forge North Cider is a proud sponsor of your USA Rugby Cider as they strong in the fine position of making things strong. Smith & Forge North Cider, built from apples, built to refresh, made in the USA Rugby would like to thank the other leaders of the world's finest rugby balls and sponsor of USA Rugby. Miller is the official ball and contact kit provided for USA Rugby. As supporters of the game at all levels in the U.S., give this round of support for all the teams here today. Rugby fans, come together with their roots. Official airline of USA Rugby. We'll make it out of our award-winning service for both on and destination.
The showdown in H-Town goes Scotland's way, 24-6 over the United States, down to Nick Gismondi and the U.S. captain.
Pitchside now with Eagles captain Todd Clever. A tough one. Injuries highlighted this, as seen by you, but you stayed in this match as well.
Yeah, I mean, we worked real hard through the week, through the last week and a half, and you know, it's when you're playing with this kind of heat and humidity, injuries are going to happen. Your body's going to fail on you, and happen on both sides. But you know, I'm proud of the guys for sticking through it, and awesome for the crowd. And you know, thanks for the Scottish. They put on a good show as well.
Todd, take me back to the first half. It looked like you had a try. When that was denied, how much of a momentum shift was that for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, from what I felt and what I saw on the replay, it looked pretty good. I brought the guys back, and you know, we were pumped up, and you know, they took a quick tap with a different ball. I mean, it's just tough. You know, it's took a little bit of wind out of our sails, but we have to bounce back after that, and you know, be tougher mentally.
It's a big summer. 2 more big matches coming up. Japan in LA. So what's the message now in the locker room to the guys to get ready for next weekend against Japan?
Yeah, we know they're on a roll. They've beaten some really good teams, and we just got to come out and use that home advantage and take the good things what we did today, and play more with the ball on their end.
All right, go get stitched up. We'll see you in LA.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no one can doubt the effort, really, and you can't question that. But these guys have a long tour ahead of them. They got to put this behind them. Their backs are up against it when they play a Tier 1 nation. That's just the way it is. We'll be back to wrap it up in a few minutes.
USA Rugby has its rally cry. It celebrates motivation for rugby players here in the United States. And you just the song behind the three that will inspire the new American rugby tradition. Now it's time for Rugby American USA Rugby Council. World Orbit Rugby. Visit report.org.
The key play in the second half, the Scottish fullback, Stuart Hogg, the do or die, and he does for the try. Stuart Hogg putting it down, and a 24-6 Scotland victory. Stuart Hogg, the key play, and joining our Nick Gismondi on the pitch.
With our man of the match, Stuart Hogg, and it was a hot one out here today. Did it have an effect on you guys on your side?
Oh, definitely. You know, we're used to the wind and the rain of Scotland, and you know, the sun and the humidity here. Well, boy, we struggled. But you know, we adapted to the conditions this week, and you know, it's just a case of going out and doing our jobs, and thankfully we've done that tonight.
Your new coach, Vern Cotter, said, and he was very blunt about it, that the way that you guys perform right now in these matches will determine who goes to the World Cup with Scotland. You had a big try in this match. Did you come in with a little extra pressure, maybe?
Yeah, you know, I've not played for a while now, and you know, it's just great to be back. But you know, Vern's a top coach, and he's he's laid down his stall out this week, and you know we've adapted well to him. And as you say, it's a kind of trial for the World Cup, and you know boys are putting their names in the hat now, and it's it's a case of getting better and better every game we play together.
Last question for you. You're going to see the Americans in the Rugby World Cup. You have them in pool play. Did this send a message today, and what needs to change moving forward into that World Cup?
I think we just need to stick to our game plan. You know, the Americans are a big physical side, and a couple of times you got caught in the back foot and they smashed us back, which is exactly what they want. And if we can keep quick ball and keep our depth in attack, I think we should be all right. But they're getting better and better every time they play, and we need to be careful for them.
All right, Stuart Hogg, our man of the match. Thank you so much. Congrats on the win.
Cheers.
24-6, Scotland takes it. They've got a rendezvous in London in 2015 in the fall. They've got a lot of work, both squads, I think, ahead of them. Don't you agree?
Yeah, they did get the victory tonight, but if I'm Vern Cotter, I'm looking at what I saw on the field tonight and some chances that they let go by, and it wasn't clinical. But look, it's the first test. It's the first time you get your boys back together, and that's for both sides. So when you get them together, you expect there to be some mistakes. He's only been the coach for 5 days, so they'll get better as they progress towards South Africa at the end of this tour. And if you're Mike Tolkien, he'll get better stuff out of the guys down the road as well. It's an opportunity lost, though, for the United States, and they'll lick their wounds and they'll come back for the test next week. But it's still, the question will remain for the United States: when can they start to look at taking one of these Tier 1 nations and getting a scalp?
Got to put more than 6 points on the board. Tries for Scotland, certainly by Visser, Hogg, and also a penalty try awarded. There's Tim crossing first. Scotland victorious in Houston at BBVA Compass Stadium. 24-6 is the final score in favor of the Scottish Warriors. On behalf of Brian Hightower and the entire crew, I'm Bill Seward. Thanks for joining us here on Universal Sports.